Week 30 game Sunday show, and I'm here today with Gerson, as always. G, how you doing? How you feeling? Are you ready to give us these awesome picks and help us win some money?
Yeah, I'm doing better. I just hope everything finds out the way I went. I mean, I am a little tight on research. I show because nobody, in case you tuned in, obviously I couldn't do it. I was shivering. I was sweaty. I was like hot. I was every single thing that I could think of. I mean,
knees
I've
weak,
gone
your
through
arms were heavy.
4 or 5 bottles of our best friends right now. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, you and I, we should have been FaceTiming each other doing shots of NyQuil and DayQuil because that's been my routine the past few days too. Jamie, how you doing?
Yeah.
You doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I got my little ones here. My 3-year-old sick. He's been throwing up all night.
Ooh, I haven't. Well, at least I'm not throwing up, right, G? At least we're not doing that. But G, with no further question, are you ready to dive into your picks? Because I think we're all ready to hear where we're going. And you know, I got to be honest, real quick too. I was very disappointed to see that instead of you had your normal tiers of QB, but I don't see Jordan Love in that elite tier spot. Do you want to explain yourself real quick? Because I mean, I think 5 minutes of Jordan Love showed that best in the league. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I have no love for Jordan Love. I'll tell you that much.
All I want to say is I don't want to talk about that man because now I have to sound like the pessimist because people got way too excited way too quickly. But also real quick with the player news, I haven't really seen much come out on Twitter yet, but as that's broken to us, I will make sure to update everyone. But yeah, G, feel free to take over.
Yeah, I have a number one player I'm gonna have at quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. He's number one, obviously. He has a great matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals ranked 21st in DVP versus the pass. The thing is, to me, it's the game environment. Game environment more than anything. I mean, Vegas has this almost. I think it's almost pushing 52 points already. 52 and a half. So he's gonna be the highest owned quarterback. He playing at MVP level, right? Back to back. I mean, he's gone 1, 2, 3. Since week 4, he scored 24 or more points in all his games. So, I mean, he is expensive, but you can get cheap with him, maybe with MVS or Juju, or Sky Moore. But obviously, you want to stack him with Kelsey because he's the best. He's the best play for him. But I'm going right back to the other side of it. And this is where I'm probably going to have more heavy exposure than Mahomes. It's going to be Joe Burrow at 6,900. He gets Jamar Chase, he gets T. Higgins back, and Jamar Chase is criminally underpriced. I mean, he's only 7,900. So the stack is cheap. It's not something you can make it work. There's values on the slate that you can make it work with. And if that game shoots out, which it's a hit and miss with Kansas City. The last 7 games of the Chiefs that were projected for 50 points implied total, only 4 of them have hit. I mean, only 3 of them have hit. So that's a 70% chance. I mean that it doesn't hit. But I'm going crazy. I'm just going with my gut call, and I'm gonna play that game a lot. Joe Burrow. My value quarterback today is Trevor Lawrence. I know people aren't going to like it, but facing the Detroit Lions, I always play the quarterback that's facing the Detroit Lions. But in the last couple of weeks, he's looked better, right? Last week, he had a heck of a game. He had 321 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interception, 4 sacks. But I'm looking at his point total. He had 28 points. If he would have gotten 28 points, he went on for almost 7 times value. That's what we want. We want value. I don't mind Trevor Lawrence at 5,900. Stack him with Kirk, stack him with Ingram. I don't know the latest on Zay Jones. They said he was optimistic to play. Maybe when we get the injury report, we'll see. But those are my 3 quarterbacks. I'm going to have a lot of those 3. There are other quarterbacks I like, but I don't know, man. Those are the only 3 in the list right now for you guys because obviously if I listed a whole list, it would be like 7 of them, But
yeah, I just got the Zay Jones update. Zay Jones is healthy.
Okay, cool.
We got a few updates, yeah. But continue, G.
No, those are my three quarterbacks. Other than that, those are the three that I want the most right now. If I were to play other quarterbacks, just in case people are probably asking, like, oh, what about Mike White? What about Justin Herbert? What about Tua? Those are the three other quarterbacks I would consider playing. As of right now, the John Watson situation, I don't mind it, but that's just I think people are playing it for the narrative. I'm not all about the narrative. If you really look at the Houston Texans defense, they're actually a pretty good pass defense. They're not bad, and people just think they suck. What they do, but they suck at stopping the run. That's what they suck at. And what are the Browns really good at? Running the ball. Deshaun Watson, I get it. I mean, revenge game, whatever. I don't really consider a revenge game when he's freaking a pervert, but okay.
It's not a revenge game where never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Just those are the quarterbacks I'm going with mainly, though.
But also, real quick, G, before you dive into the running backs as well. So, active today, Jamison Williams, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Zay Jones, Antonio Gibson, Najee Harris, and Jeffrey Simmons. Inactive so far, Chase Young, Rex Burkhead, Robert Quinn, and Michael Carter. So it sounds...
Wow.
Yeah, Michael Carter's out, so that's going to be big in regards to the everyone that picked up... what's my man's name? UDFA. I was really hoping he'd get Zonovan. Yeah.
You know what's crazy is that for a second I didn't know his real name was Bam.
Yeah.
On the Nova, but I guess his real name is Bam. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. Okay.
I'm still just disappointed that he wasn't drafted because I had him higher on my rookie list, and then once they go to the UDFA territory, you gotta throw him way down the list.
What's called with Michael Carter being inactive, that's huge. Because he's only 4,600, so he's really cheap. So let's jump into running back.
Perfect.
I'll play my algorithm real quick as I talk, and I'll let you guys know about.
Here, one second, real quick, too. Someone just asked a question in chat. Who should I start, Etienne or Perot? Just hold off on the start sits. We'll address that in the second half of the show. G's going to pump out all the DFS stuff first, but then we'll be addressing that. So don't think we're ignoring these. But with no further ado, G, go ahead with the running backs, please.
Yeah, I mean, running back, I see a lot of ownership on Josh Jacobs. I don't get it. I mean, it's fine if you're going to play him, but I don't think that ownership's going to come out at 25% like they're saying it's going to. Really, the guy that I want to play at, number one, my best player of the day, my smash, lock it in, like I'm all in on him, is Mr. Nick Chubb against the Houston Texans. Chubb is $8,000. He's my highest projected player as a running back. He's my best value as a running back. And I have him almost going for 25 points. So I think he's going to have a huge game today. He's going to be highly owned. He's going to be lower owned than all these other guys like Jacob, Eckler, Etienne, Aaron Jones. But I'm pivoting to Chubb. Hopefully I get him at 15 to 20%. But I don't know, man. Like, I'm all in for Chubb. I mean, against the Houston Texans, they are the bottom three defense against the run. They have an implied total of 27 points almost. So if they're going to get to 27 points, they're going to get it to Nick Chubb and maybe like Amari Cooper and Yoku, But yeah.
I like it. With that in mind, with your running backs, so are you going to look at are you concerned at all about Deshaun on the ground? Like I know it's hard to say. But
if I'm concerned about Deshaun Watson, like the way he's gonna play.
like eating into the work. He has the scramble ability.
He does, but you got to remember Deshaun Watson wasn't exactly.
He's not Justin Fields where he's pass first, not run first.
He's more like a pass read quarterback, a pass quarterback first, second, and then I'll run if I have to. But the other thing you have to remember is that when he played for the Texans, that offensive line was horrible. This offensive line is not horrible. They can block with the best and run with the best. I mean, they're a pretty decent offensive line compared to the Texans. So that's going to be good for Deshaun Watson, I guess. But, I mean, Deshaun Watson, I mean, let's check. Let me see. I have when he used to play for the Texans, I guess, he attempted to run like an average of probably like 6, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, 10, 8, 7. So you take away let's say 6 carries, right? It's not really going to hurt him too much. It's not like we're talking about Justin Fields, 15 attempts. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a firm believer that Deshaun Watson can't be any worse than Jacoby Brissett, And Brissett held his ground. So give me Deshaun Watson there. My second running back I'm gonna have. It was really hard on running backs this week. I don't know if it's maybe because I haven't researched as much as I want to, but I really did like Aaron Jones. I think so. Rodgers still playing, right? He's not out, is he?
Wait, is who? Say that again.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh no, I think he's playing. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers being hurt and all that. I mean, I don't know if you watched the game, but I did. I watched the game last week, and he looked like he could barely pick up a spoon or something. But I think they're going to heavily rely on Aaron Jones in this game. Aaron Jones against the Chicago Bears. That Chicago Bears defense is trash now. I don't know if Eddie Jackson's going to play, but to give you an idea how good Aaron Jones done in week 2, even this year, he had a 35-point game. He went for 132 yards down and 3 receptions. I mean, that's 35 points. I mean, that's what I want today. And he's only 6,900. I think he's at a great value. I'm having to look further to him along with Nick Chubb. And now the third guy that I'm talking about is with my projection to upgrade it and everything. Well, actually, I have 2 more guys to talk about. I'm going to talk about Samaje Perine. What's your name? Joe Mixon's not going to play. I don't think so. Did they consider him inactive? Or did they say anything about him?
No, not yet. They haven't. I'll keep you updated, though. I'm watching.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's an afternoon game, huh? Damn it.
Yeah.
So let's say I don't think Mixon played because he would have cleared the concussion protocol. He would have cleared it on Saturday night, and they would have said that he was good to go because you can't just I don't think you can do it on the game of. I'm pretty sure. Bam, Samaje Perine, but Bam Knight now at 4,600 with no Michael Carter playing. 4,600, that's so cheap. He can allow you to open up and get so much exposure to anything you want. You got to be careful, though. What's their name? The New York Jets like to split their running back. They played a hot hand. I mean, he got 69 yards last week. That's 4.9 yards per carry. He got 3 receptions. He can catch. He's a very good pass catcher. People don't know this because they don't really know who he is. But Zach and I know who he is because we did Dynasty. So, unfortunately, he went undrafted. But look, now he's the starting running back. He worked his way up, right? So let's keep that at. I think if I were going to play, I'd play Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, Bam Knight. But I also have interest in Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, Austin Eckler, with Etienne too. But I don't know how comfortable I feel about Etienne's ankle right now because Etienne relies on his game his foot. He relies on his game on quickness and explosiveness. And if it's not there, that kind of worries me a little bit, But I think it's going to be good. It's going to be a good game for the Lions and the Jaguars.
So I have a quick question for you, too, real quick on the Aaron Jones stuff and what you were alluding to with the Green Bay-Chicago game. What's A.J. Dillon's price looking like right now? Do you have any idea there? Because that's another guy I was curious about.
So his price, I think it's at it's like 50 something. Hold on, why is it not pulling up?
So it's really not that cheap.
No, it's 56.
Okay.
It's at 56.
So it's not that great of a value.
No, it is. It's not bad. But the thing is, for me,
I like a lot of the other names.
Play the workload, I get it, though. He had a pretty big game last week,
All right, my thought with A.J. Dillon, I just wanted to ask real quick on that price point because with what you alluded to with Aaron Rodgers' thumb not being able to sure if he can hold up a spoon, I mean, I would like to just see him hold up a pen, maybe to some retirement forms. But, the cold weather out here today, it's windy and cold out here in Chicago. I'm assuming that's not going to feel good on, on a bone that's broken. So I'm hoping that, maybe he's just handing the ball off the whole time. So that's why I was curious. But yeah, I think your fourth. Or go
That's
ahead.
what I think. I think that's what I think don't do, man. Because if worst case scenario, they're bringing in Jordan Love, and move the ball better. But shout out to Chris.
Yeah, I'll always take shout outs for him. Well, anytime, any day. But I think there's a better value for even cheaper, probably more productive than someone like AJ Dillon. That's your fourth running back, right?
He's 50. I don't know how healthy exactly Gibson is, but it took all the way to today for them to be gonna be good to go. Good to play. But really, in reality, it's hard for running backs to just go out and play. But I think Robinson's just gonna get the workload. He's so cheap too. We saw it last week. He actually did have a pretty decent game, 5,300 right now. Last week he went for 105 and one touchdown on the receiving end, which is not something he would usually do. But against the Atlanta Falcons today, he's playing the New York Giants. Giants defense on the run is not that great. He's only coming in at 3%, so that kind of makes me curious, why are we not higher on him? Him and Bam Knight, almost like that cheap range, it'll help you get those stacks in that you want, So give me those two guys. But those are my running backs right now.
And real quick, so I see Joe is asking about stacks. Joe, we will get to those last, so just hold off. Once G's done going through all the positions individually, we'll be getting to the stacks. So soon enough, we'll be there. And the fantasy goods, also with the start sits, we'll be getting there. Oh, actually, I think we can address that one real quick right now. Baker Mayfield or Jamie's kid?
I think my kid has a better arm.
Yeah, probably a higher on-field IQ as well, and maybe even better actor in the State Farm commercials. So I think all around, Jamie's kid, yeah. But G,
but hey, real quick, I wanted to say, touch on Brian Robinson real quick. I think people are fading him because right now he's only 55th in yards per touch. He's also 49th in yards created. He only gets a 3.2 target share, and he's only played more than 50% of the snaps once in his career, and that was last week when he got over 15 points in a game. He hasn't really got over 10 unless he gets 50% of the snaps, which this week I think he will get over 50.
I think so as well. I'm looking forward to it. It's about time. Gee, so with the wide receivers, what are you looking at there?
To wide receiver, I'm basically trying to fit in. I think this is the week where you really want to try to fit in your stack, your top play stack. There's good values, and I'll mention them, but get in your stack. But my number one play is Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, 7,900. That's really cheap for the potential he has. If I were to tell you, you have Devontae Adam at 8,700 and Jamar Chase at 7,900, you're saving about $1,200 difference. I think I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase. I don't think they rushed him back. They took their time with him. They even gave him that extra. He could have came back last week. They gave him that extra week. They had a bye week. We saw him have back-to-back big games. 35 points, 36 points, week 6 and 7. I think this is a personal game. The Chiefs are going to come out there. They're going to want to win this game because they got eliminated by the Cincinnati Bengals in the AFC Championship game, right? So it's gonna be a grudge fest. It's gonna be a real big fight, and I think Jamar Chase 7,900. I understand if you want to T Higgins too at 7,200, but give me Jamar Chase. He's gonna get peppered with targets. I expect him to have a big game today. The next guy, he's probably my favorite wide receiver player of the day, though. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown, man. To me, he's still underpriced. Last week he had 122 targets, 122 yards, a touchdown, 9 receptions, 10 targets. That's almost a perfect get for a wide receiver against the Buffalo Bills, and he's facing a weak defense against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I expect him to be within 25% ownership. I'm gonna have a lot of exposure to him, and then after that, it just gets really different. So I'm gonna mention the guys I have on my sheet, but I'm also gonna mention other guys. They're Garrett Wilson, Mike White, makes him look like a wide receiver 1. Nico Collin, no Brandon Cook, 4,300. But then there's other guys I do like that are going to help me get my further to my higher wide receivers. George Pickens, 5,100. Elijah Moore at 3,700. And Christian Watson at 5,200. I'm hoping Roger looks good. I'm hoping that Christian Watson, train keep rolling. Because I'm one of the biggest. Well, Zach and I are one of the biggest Christian Watson touted in the offseason, and it's finally paying off. I don't know about you, but I think he's carrying my team to the playoffs. So
I'm not too worried about whether it's Aaron or Jordan throwing the ball there.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference in talent level if Aaron's healthy and all that, but Jordan is better than what we saw last year against Kansas City, and I think there's also more chemistry there with J-Lo and Christian than what meets the eye, just because, for the most part, Jordan Love's been getting the first team practice reps a lot of these weeks this year. So, when Christian's been getting that confidence in the offense more and more, it's been with Jordan Love at quarterback, not with Aaron. So, with that in mind, I don't think it'll hurt either way.
Yeah, let me go real quick through tight end and defense. Travis Kelce, obviously the best player of the game for tight end. He's basically locked in number 1. He's probably going to have the greatest season ever for, I think, a 30-year-old or older tight end. And Kelce's there. I don't know how old Kelce is, but I know whatever age he is, he's going to have the greatest season ever fantasy points by like 40 more points, I think. Pat Fryermuth, 4,300 against the Atlanta Falcons. But the way I'm going to get cheap is Harrison Bryant, 2,700, and Yoku's out. So I'm going to get a lot of Harrison Bryant at 2,700. Defense, Steelers defense, 2,600. It's just cheap against the Atlanta, what's their name? Not the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, against the Atlanta Falcons. Mariota, he kind of gets erratic when he gets pressured. TJ Watt. TJ Watt should get some pressure on him. Titans defense, they're 2,200. I don't love it, but we've seen the Eagles have turnovers before, and they're 2,200. Really cheap. It's the cheapest you can get. Titan defense, they have forced turnovers before. They've had good games. They've even had good games against good offense. Like the Kansas City Chiefs, they had a 7-point game and they were 2,200. The Seahawks defense is more of that's the defense you're going to pay up if you want to get that. Dude, John Wolford, that offensive line, those wide receivers, that's just like putrid. That's like the most horrible offense I've seen put out. I got to say, that has to be the worst offense I've seen put out on an NFL product this year. It has to be, right?
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's not good all the way around. Any name that you might recognize is pretty much no longer out there.
But I think if I were to have my number 1, so my stacks, I didn't write them up because, like I said, I was tight on time. But my favorite stack this week, if I'm going to stack, let me get them right here. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and then either mix them with Hayden Hurst or T. Higgins. But likely, if I were to do a Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and then run it back with Sky Moore, because Sky Moore is 3,100. That's the only way you're going to keep a cheap roster and get those running back. But again, like I just said, I want to look at my what my crunch or like my 150 roster is going to look like with the update of Bam Knight, Donovan Knight, and then I mean that opens up a lot. But give me Kansas City, Joe Burrow, and then if I were to stack the Trevor Lawrence stack, I would probably do Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk, excuse me, Zay Jones, and bring it back with Amon-Ra St. Brown. So, yeah, I like that stack because it's cheap and it gives you a good value. I mean, it's not expensive at all. You can fit in more stud running backs, stud wide receivers, and stud tight end. But obviously, you're going to put Amon-Ra St. Brown on the other side. For the Patrick Mahomes, you're going Sky Moore, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and then running back with either Chase or Higgins. I don't want to run it back with anybody else because those are the only two that are going to carry my team to the top on the Bengals. But those are my stats, man.
Appreciate it, G. Oh, also, before you go, just so you know, Josh Jacobs, who is listed as questionable for today, will be playing. So that's definitely a big name out there since he's been a productive running back in the fantasy realm these last few weeks. He's had some massive stat lines. But anything else you got for us, G, before you go finish up touching up on these lineups?
No, that's it. Honestly, I think today it's gonna come down to value. I really gonna play. I think I'm gonna get with my value, my top value plays. I would probably say Harrison Bryant. To answer Joe's question, I don't mind Tua. It's just expensive. It's just really expensive. Chubb or Jacob. I'm gonna say Chubb. But on Tua, it's just expensive, man. Both ways, because you're gonna run it back with either Kittle at 5,000, Brandon Ayuk, or what's his name? What's the Debo, and it's expensive. I do love Kittle a lot. I forgot to mention him in the tight end position, but I had to put Kelce at the elite. But I love Kittle. But yeah, that's just that's it. I mean, like just look at the value. Harrison Bryant, Brian Robinson, and Bam Knight are very good value. Nico Collins too. Those four guys should be able to get you a rotational, a good roster foundation.
Oh, perfect. We appreciate it as always, G. Thank you very much. Now, hopefully you start feeling better. I hope you enjoyed your Utah Utes win last night, or 2 nights ago, actually. I mean,
I didn't watch it.
You were sick?
I was sick, dude. Like, I watched the rerun on TiVo later on in the morning the next day, so I was very happy.
No, that was I figured you were enjoying that one. But no, thank you as always. We hope you feel better and hopefully you win. Or all of us win, yeah. Let's go win some money on this.
Take care.
You too. And before we jump into the start sit portion of the show, I wanted to say that today's show is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Not only do they offer best ball leagues, but they have pick'em contests in which you can win up to 20 times your money. No head-to-heads, no lineups to set. You don't need to beat 20,000 other entries. Simply pick higher or lower on up to 5 player props for a chance to win. Download the Underdog Fantasy app for iOS or Android and use our promo code GF2 to get a deposit match up to $100. They have player props for NFL, NBA, NHL, the World Cup, and more. Again, the promo code is GF2. Get the app, use the code, place your bets. Win money, it's that easy. And also, with that in mind, we will be getting into some more bets later after we get into some start stats. I know we have a couple of pinned ones here. First and foremost, Gator J, thank you for joining us this morning. Conklin versus Minnesota. I'm assuming you are asking about DFS, but
yeah, I actually have him in my DFS lineup. I was debating between him and Engram because they're right by each other, but I think Conklin was a better play, a little bit more. But
Conklin is that's a guy I had in Dynasty stashed away for 2-3 years hoping for it, and now it's actually starting to pan out after I no longer have him. That's how it usually works. And then we also had one earlier. Who should I start? Etienne or Perrine? I got to go with Samaji here. I love me some Travis Etienne, but if that ankle's a little banged up, I'm nervous there. I don't want to find out the hard way where suddenly we don't we're getting some Darrell Henderson reps or something like that. I don't want to gamble on the injured guy. Samaje has been productive. What are your thoughts there, Jamie?
I think I'm going to go ETN, man. Like, I know Mixon might not play. He's probably going to be out. But I think the Jacksonville's just going to be a shootout. So they're going to use ETN in the passing game a lot, and he'll get most of the rushes. I just hope his ankle does hold up.
I mean, I hope so as well.
Like, if you need upside, go ETN. If you're playing it safe, I guess go P. Ryan.
Yeah, I got to say that I like the start either way. I notice we've got someone else joining us now as well. They've got their hat on and ready to go, and it looks wonderful. With no further ado, It sings too. Oh my!
Oh, that
I
is
wasn't ready
awesome.
for the hat to actually tuck.
I love it. Getting ready for Christmas. We're actually putting up the Christmas tree today. So.
Nice. Do you buy or do you cut down?
Oh no, we fake.
Now I feel like the Grinch over here. I don't have a single Christmas decoration in my house, but that's probably because I'm a single guy in his 20s. I mean,
It's
who
still
am
Christmas.
that's what the family is for. They have all the decorations. I might buy a nutcracker or something just so I feel a little festive.
There you go. I like it.
Or-
Merry Christmas and happy Sunday, guys. Oh, hi. Do you want to see the hat?
Want to see her hat? Look.
There's a giggle. It's like a Whoville hat.
Oh, I need to watch that movie again. But with no further ado, any start sits you guys are ready to just jump right into?
Yeah, let's roll.
Figure we've always got some sort of start sits.
I am nervous as heck for anyone starting Deshaun Watson this week. What do you guys take on that?
Oh man, I've been telling people all week to fade him. I think Gerson touched on it a little bit earlier, but they're not going to throw that much. Like statistically, the Houston's like horrible against the pass, but it's only because you don't need to pass on a team that you're up by 2-3 touchdowns.
Right, good point.
And they're just going to run the ball. Like I could see Chubb and Hunt running the ball like 35 times. Watson might get like 15 to 20 pass attempts because they're going to bring him back slowly too.
Yeah, I mean, I might be that person that's starting him in a league. So only in one. I was down bad. I had 4 QBs. It was Derek Carr, and then Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, and Deshaun. And I would much rather start Deshaun with all these question marks around him than obviously not Zach Wilson since he's been benched or Mac Jones. So
Nope.
that one was out of necessity more than out of desire.
Makes sense.
Yeah, still not happy about it. Prefer to not even have him rostered on my teams, but yeah.
Agreed.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, I guess. I feel like the Browns. That's probably what the Browns said when they paid him $250 million, huh?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, and then also I really like. Let's see. Who I wrote a bunch down. I like Christian Watson versus the Bears this week. I mean, even though I know that Aaron Rodgers is dealing with all his, hand injury stuff, he's still going to throw the ball, right? And the Bears defense, they're not very good against the pass. So I think Christian Watson will have another monster. Maybe it's not 2 touchdowns, but I still think. You don't think? You don't think, Zach?
I'm shaking my head because Gerson mentions Christian Watson with his DFS. You come in here and mention him. You guys are just trying to keep me all hot and bothered. I mean, come on now. This has been my guy since last year in college, and now I remember everyone else is jumping on the train, and whoo!
I remember you drafted him in our when we were pre-drafting doing the board. You drafted him like first or second round. And everybody was like, "What? What are you doing?"
Oh no, not in the for the
no
draft.
Like in the fake rookie draft, in the mock one. Didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I took him out one. I think the earliest I took him out of any of my leagues was 104.
Yeah.
Or no, 103. 103. But also real quick, we have Gator J over here with Khalif Raymond or James. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was helping my girl set her lineup, and she has both these guys, and I wasn't even considering Raymond at that point. I told her to start Richie James, but then she goes and says, I'm going to start Mostert instead. I was like, all right, if you really want, but it's going to be a bad call.
Well, I mean, Slayton was cleared to play, right? But he also is dealing with massive injury. He's been sick all week. And so, I mean, sure, they can pump him full of fluids, IV fluids and stuff, but he's probably not 100%. So Richie James might not be a bad.
I would probably go James. I'm going James there. Yeah. Out of those 3, if you include, or for just these 2, I'm going James, but also if you include Mostert, I'm going James as well. And then, so Gator also real quick wanted to Courtney wanted to know, how are you feeling about JMO?
I'm excited to see him. I'll tell you that much. I'm excited to see him play, but I don't know if I'd start him right off the bat. You know what I mean? Especially if I've been doing fine with other wide receivers all year, right? But I'm excited to see him play. I was actually talking to my husband about that earlier. I was like, he's starting, yay! But I don't think I'd go out right off and start him. But then again, maybe he goes off, but I don't think he will. I think they'll ease him back in. He's their number one guy. He's going to be their future. So I don't think they're gonna. And they got a lot of targets there, right? So I think that he will be eased into the situation. So I wouldn't start him immediately. No, and yes, of course, I'm sucking up to Zach. Why not?
Yeah, well, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's that remark as well. I mean, Gator, he would be in here doing the same thing. He's giving you a hard time because he's jealous. He's at work right now and not here with us. I have to give him a hard time because every time him and I are talking about getting on a phone call and talking fantasy football, he ends up being busy with work, or I'm busy with work, and it never works out. But no, back to the Christian Watson thing real quick as well. I think there is going to be a big day in store. Romeo Doubs is out again. Lazard has been very hit or miss. I think Lazard's more of a favorite of Rodgers rather than Jordan Love. I don't think Aaron Rodgers plays this entire game. I don't. Regardless of what happens, I don't see him finishing it. And that's not, like he won't be back next week. Obviously, that depends on the outcome. But I'm expecting Christian Watson to have 100+ yards, and I'm going to be doing some props as we get further into this. And don't you worry, you'll hear Christian Watson's name in there. But any other start sits as well? But yeah.
Yeah, I got one. This is for my girl. Oh, hold on.
Oh, and Gator, it's all out of love, though. The calling you out, it's all out of love. Courtney, you have any start sits? I think Jamie's checking on the kiddo real quick.
What do you think? What do you think about if you don't have better choices, or if you're super flex and you have him? I like Geno Smith this week. I mean, shoot, they're going against the Rams, and what have the Rams done for me lately, right? And DK's healthy and Lockett's healthy. I mean, I could see Geno putting up some big numbers today.
I mean, yeah, and this is going to be the first game in Aaron Donald's career, I believe, that he's not playing.
That's right. That was another reason I was thinking that. I heard that this week. That's right. Yeah, no, I think he'll put up some good numbers. And I know we're talking about prop bets later, but Kenneth Walker's my anytime touchdown all day today. All day.
I like that. We're going to have a few fun bets. Jamie, you're still on mute.
Yeah, I know. My bad. But I just heard Kenneth Walker anytime touchdown. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I got that as one of my locks of the week.
But you had to start sit for us as well?
Yeah, it's for Helena. She wanted to know start Palmer, Pickens, or Devonta Smith.
Ooh. I think I would have to go Pickens. And the reason I'm saying that is because, I mean, Atlanta's secondary, they've shown that they're not, what they could be, right? And people are putting up points against Atlanta, and so I could see Pickens having a nice day. I actually had him on one of my potential starts too. I could see Pickens having a nice day today.
I like Devonta Smith. It's between Pickens and Smith for me. Palmer's out the window right away. I think Smith is a stupid talented wide receiver too. Outside of maybe that Hill and Waddle combo, arguably the best wide receiver too, and out of any team. But it's tough. I don't like them playing against Tennessee. I think that's not going to be a very, very fun game to watch. I think it'll be low scoring and therefore not a lot of fantasy points. I expect the Titans to kind of hold them to minimal scoring, and that's where, I'm probably going to go with Pickens. We've seen the chemistry there, and to me, it's kind of looking like Pickens is the clear-cut Kenny Pickett #1 target, and that's where I'm just going to bet on that. If I feel like, regardless of how I feel about Kenny Pickett, if that's the dude he wants to target the most or feels the most comfortable and they're most on the same page, I'm going to bet on that. And that's where.
Plus it's the A.J. Brown revenge game, so I can see him going off.
Yeah, but it's also the Tennessee Titans revenge game. Yeah. So maybe they want Maybe they want to double him. Be like, hey, you're not going off enough. But I hate saying that because then I have the perfect reason for why Devonta Smith should be going off if they're doubling AJ.
Yeah, good point.
I like both of those guys. You can't really go wrong there. But no, I'd still lean in favor of Pickens. Yeah, I don't have too many fun start sits. Most of mine are pretty grim and ugly as of right now. Yeah.
I got one for my husband if y'all want to answer it.
Oh, we'll take all of them. Yeah.
All right. He wants flex in a half-point PPR. He's got Jeff Wilson Jr., Jamal Williams, or Lazard. And we already touched on Lazard, so I think it would be between the two running backs.
Jeff Wilson Jr. and who was the other one?
Or Jamal Williams for Detroit.
Yeah, I know Wilson has that tough matchup, so I might be fading him.
I'm going with the touchdown machine, Jamal. You have to at this point. I mean, every time I want to go back to Swift, he just keeps on eating. So
I haven't played Swift in like 2 weeks. I just can't trust him, and it sucks because he was one of my, top couple rounds, right? I think I probably took him in the second round. It's so frustrating.
I was going to bring this up during our prop bets, but Jamal Williams, I have a prop bet for over 57.5 rushing yards because only 4 running backs have carried the ball 15 plus times in each of their past 4 outings. And it was Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, and Jamal Williams. So he does get the volume.
Also, we just got this. The show is a staple of my morning for both fantasy and DFS. Thanks to all those that show up for this show throughout the year. May someone win some money and buy playoffs clinching victories. No, we appreciate it. Thank you for joining in as always. We always love having everyone here. We always appreciate the questions, all the start sits, and all the DFS stuff for Gerson. Hopefully, everyone's fantasy teams and DFS lineups are succeeding more than my Scott Fishbowl lineup because I'm in the bottom 150 out of 3,000.
Okay, speaking of Scott Fishbowl, I got a dilemma. For my super flex, I got to start Tannehill or Mike White. So I know Mike White has that ceiling, but I can also see him throwing like 2 interceptions that'll kill.
Whoa. As much as I love the Mormon Mahomes, the MILF Hunter, whatever we want to call him, I'm riding the Mike White wave until we see otherwise. Until we see that 4-pick game, I got to bet on
Minnesota. Like I know they're
against Minnesota.
Right, but it'll be a great game against Minnesota though. It's a great smash. Yeah.
So it is a Scott Fishbowl, so it's like I need those points. So I think Mike White has the higher ceiling.
But I don't see Tannehill.
I think you got to go for White.
I don't see Tannehill having the volume because, like I said earlier, I think the Tennessee game is going to be fairly low scoring. With that in mind, that makes it a lot harder for us to, get anywhere we need to really have that efficiency matter. Because yes, you need efficiency, but you also need volume with it. That's what made Burrow so good in this scoring format last year, or like not for last year's Scott Fishbowl, but if you converted the numbers over, Joe Burrow was the best due to that. But
all right, yeah, I switched them back like 5 or 6 times already. Go with White. I'm gonna go White.
Go with White.
I would go with White too. I think that I would just say like, yes, obviously you might get those interceptions, but Tannehill's been not as great, and it's the Eagles defense is pretty darn good. So, and I know the Vikings are too, but the Vikings also have these massive games where, it's like way over 52 and stuff, total. And so I think Mike White puts up big numbers today. I think Garrett Wilson has a good game, right? I understand he only had 2 targets last week, but those 2 targets were huge, right? So I could see this being a really fun game to watch. So go ahead.
Going off that, so I also have to decide between Miles Sanders and that tough matchup, and like Zach, you said, a low-scoring game, or Leonard Fournette on Monday night splitting the load with, I don't know.
What Rashad White?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Lenny still. That's more purely
Yeah, I just don't trust Sanders this week. I put him way down, like outside the top 24.
Wait.
So Miles Sanders or Leonard Fournette in the Scott Fishbowl.
No, actually,
I don't know. That's tough.
I don't like I don't like either.
I know, but I can see Sanders maybe getting a few, like the first downs. He get the passing down work. I know Tennessee's tough against the run.
But it's also one of those things. Go ahead. Sorry, Zach.
No, you're good. No, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, you just never, I mean, I understand that Lenny's splitting time with White, but you just never know what they're going to do in Philadelphia. Are they going to throw Gainwell out there some? Are they going to throw Sanders out there? Is it going to be Jalen Hurts that runs it all, right? Like if they're having struggle.
Scott coming in or something.
Right? So you just never know. And so, but Lenny's going to be on the field, right? So I think that's the safest play, but I agree with Zach. I don't like either one of them.
It's not a fun time. I want to go with Lenny because I have been so unimpressed with the passing game of Tampa. But at the same time, it's probably going to be the best decision to go with Miles because that's going to be probably the highest ceiling. And realistically, that's where I want to be. Plus, is he the early? Is that the one? Okay. With the 1 o'clock slate, then that changes things. So I have a start sit kind of decision to make. I can't make up my mind. I can pick two. All right. Michael Pittman against Dallas or at Dallas. Garrett Wilson at Minnesota. Nico Collins versus Cleveland. Or where was the other one? Drake London versus Pittsburgh.
It's between London because I think London's going to get that touchdown. I actually have him as an anytime touchdown score this week. But I do like Garrett Wilson, man.
I do too. But you're picking two, right?
Scoring.
You're picking two, right?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, then go with those two.
I have Pittman and Wilson in my lineup currently, and I have London and Collins on my bench.
Well, throw Nico out. Throw Nico out. Let's just go with those three and decide between the three.
Don't need to be disrespectful to Nico here, okay?
Okay, my bad. My bad. But I just meant throw. I didn't mean throw him away forever.
I know. I have to get there.
I like Wilson definitely because we already talked about him. I think he has a great game. So Wilson definitely. See, Kyle says the same thing. Kyle's in here talking with us with Pittman. It's so hard for me to trust anybody in Atlanta except for Cordell Patterson.
I mean, like I said, I have Pittman and Wilson and London. I don't think I've started any week except for during buys, and that's probably the most painful part. You've just been hanging out down there on the bench.
Such talent wasted. Ugh.
On my fantasy team.
No.
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta. Like, just such talent wasted. No.
Yeah.
In Atlanta.
I mean, he's shown some promise, though. But no, I think, I'm going to have to probably ride with that. That's probably my most comfortable one there. And then I also was looking at Alan Lazard versus Olave or A.J. Dillon.
That's easily Olave for me, man. I don't think Lazard hasn't scored a touchdown in how long?
Which one are you taking out for those three? Lazard sitting on the bench? Because I have Lazard on the bench. I have A.J. Dillon in my flex, and I have Olave in my wide receiver slot, but I can bounce it around however. But those are kind of the ones I have. Yeah, Olave I don't plan on taking out. I always am just concerned about. I don't know. We'll see with JMO, but at the same time, JMO likes to throw the ball, so that's kind of why I'm going there. It's more or less A.J. Dillon or Lazard. Do I want to go bet on last week with the production A.J. Dillon showed? Or do I want to bet on maybe Aaron trying to throw the ball to Lazard a bit? For me, I don't trust Lazard at all at this point. And it's a full PPR, Kyle. You said you'd go full PPR, you'd play Lazard. That's what concerns me, though, is I just don't know if I think Aaron Rodgers plays the whole game, and I don't think J-Lo has the same chemistry there. What are your guys' thoughts? Lazard or Dillon? Let's just narrow it down to that.
I think I would play Dillon too. I mean, I know what Kyle's saying, but I think I'd play Dillon. which stinks because he's burned us so many weeks, right? But so has Lazard, and just like you're saying, I think it's Watson over Lazard, right? And if Love comes in, Love's going to dump it off, right?
Oh, and I didn't mention already that Christian Watson's already in one of those other flex spots.
Oh,
so yeah. I mean,
I'd go Dylan then. I wouldn't want both wide receivers.
Yeah. Speaking of which, in that league, here's a real spicy topic for all of us to discuss real quick. I got a trade offer for this week's trade deadline. This is a dynasty league. Someone wants me to send Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson for Zay Jones, Cortland Sutton, Mike White, Michael Pittman, Rashad Bateman, and Rashad White.
Did you laugh at them?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I like Pittman and Bateman. Like, that's not terrible there. And I'm getting Sutton, Rashad White, Zay Jones, and it's a super flex. Like, I can kind of see where they're coming from, but I'm like, I can't. Bateman's hurt. Pittman I like, but it's Indy. And for me, I always say you usually want to be getting the best players, you know?
Yeah, I told someone this week, I was like, would you rather have a $10 bill in your wallet or carry around $12 and change? Like, it might be more value on the one side, but I'd rather have the best player in the deal.
No, yeah, it's all. I mean, because that's usually what it ends up being about anyway, is trying to consolidate, right? Trying to cut down on like where your talent is, rather than having a whole bunch of guys that are worth 25 cents each, having guys that are worth $1, but maybe you have less, and you get what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. I'm trying to make moves, but it's not a good time. I'm finding some more start sits for us as well. Oh, here's the fun one. It's a Deshaun one. We Tom Brady versus New Orleans, Deshaun Watson at Houston, Derek Carr versus the Chargers, or Jared Goff versus Jacksonville. I pick two. So Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr, Jared Goff. I have Brady and Deshaun in there now because Derek Carr's hurt me so many times recently. So I think I'm just traumatized, but Jared Goff's been kind of my ride or die this year.
Yeah, I have a league where I need to make the playoffs, and I'm actually starting Goff over Brady. I just think he's going to have more volume. But Deshaun, I don't know, man. Like I said earlier, I don't trust the volume that he's going to get. He's only going to maybe throw the ball 15, 20 times. Plus, Cooper doesn't play well on the road.
Who doesn't play well on the road?
Amari Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like he's only had one game over, I think, 10 points this year on the road, but that was when both teams were in Detroit.
You guys have sold me. There we go. Tom Brady has officially been benched. Goodbye.
Done.
And also,
yeah, you did say Derek Carr's in there, right?
Yeah, Derek Carr and Jared Goff. Those
because I got Derek Carr within my top 10 this week, so I like that play against the Rams.
Yeah, no, it's time to head downtown. Oh, have fun. I'm jealous. It's more eventful than my day. I just want to watch the Packers hopefully beat the Bears. Watch Aaron Rodgers stake another claim of ownership with zero passing touchdowns. Let's see. We've Nico Collins, AJ Dillon, or where was the other one? So Nico Collins, Devin Duvernay, AJ Dillon, or Chase Claypool for just a full point PPR.
Duvernay, Claypool. What are the other ones?
Duvernay, Claypool, Dillon, and Collins. So Collins toss out, I'm assuming, based. I think I already know.
Maybe not on this one. Maybe not on this one.
Okay.
You gave me the other options. These aren't the best options with Nico in this one.
So I like Duvernay this week because I think Patrick Surtain is going to be going against Demarcus Robinson most likely. So that's going to leave open Duvernay.
But he's hurt me so many weeks.
Yeah, same, but
He's hurt so many weeks.
Yeah, I don't want to play Duvernay right now. He scares me.
Claypool's going against Jair Alexander, so that's going to be tough.
And I think Cole Kmet's going to get a lot of those targets. So.
Or do I want to go with Ben Skowronek? I forgot I have him too.
I don't trust anybody on the Rams right now, so no.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to go Nico. That's.
Well, put Nico back in there. Throw him out.
Yeah, I like Nico. I got him in my DFS lineup.
That one stresses me out the least. As I'm looking at him, I'm like, all these other matchups scare the hell out of me. I'd rather not find out the hard way. All right, let's get into the bets because I have plenty of start sets.
Hold on, I got one more. For you. I think ETN's going to have a great week this week, right? He's going against the Lions. You know.
Okay.
Do you? That's my thought, right? That's my gut. So I got to play. I got a wealth of riches of running backs in one league. It's a 0.5-point PPR, which is crazy because I picked a lot of them up late, right? Like Walker late, you know.
Yeah.
So I already played Stevenson, who really shit the bed for me. Pardon me. And then I've got 2 flexes, so I can play Chubb, Cook, ETN, or who was my other guy? Chubb, Cook, ETN, or Walker. So I got to have 3. So I'm thinking ETN, Chubb, and Walker. And
I like those, yeah.
And sit and cook. What do you think?
I like that call because Chubb would be my number 1 out of all those against Houston.
I like the Jets defense, so Cook would be the one I'm sitting there.
Done and done. That's what I thought, but just wanted to check with you. I like it.
Nope. For me, it's going to be all about just. No, I like the Jets defense a lot. I wanna trust that, and I think it'll be high scoring if anything. So while I like the Jets defense, if Mike White's balling out like I think he might, then they're going to be throwing the ball rather than running it, and that's. Or if they're playing from behind, because maybe the Jets are just dominating because they're the superior team, and maybe I'm just hinting at a bet that I'm looking at because I think that I'm going to be taking the Jets instead of the Vikings. But
ooh, nice. All right, let's go with some bets here.
All right, give us what you got first, Jamie. What do you got over there?
Okay, so I mentioned it before. Christian Kirk over 60.5 receiving yards, because like he recorded at least 9 passes in 4 of the last 5 games, and he's been finding the end zone 3 times over the past 3 weeks. So I think that's a lock in that shootout right there.
I saw that somewhere today.
Ooh.
I think it's a good one.
Yep.
What do you? I like. Go ahead.
So I was just going to repeat it. Christian Kirk over 60.5. Like it's a lock. It's going to happen.
I like it. And Courtney, what do you got? Is that the only one you got for us, Jamie?
I got a couple more. I mentioned it earlier. Walker, anytime touchdown.
Yep.
I know his yards has been kind of down lately, but he scored twice, I think, last week, and I just see those touchdowns keep coming.
So what I'm doing with that game, right now on FanDuel, Kenneth Walker is -130 for an anytime touchdown score. I could take the yards as well. I don't necessarily want to do that and get crazy because maybe.
Yeah, I would just go with touchdowns.
Yeah, I'll just take the touchdown. But what I'm going to do is I'm also going to do a little same game parlay of it where I take the Seahawks spread. So, it's +169 if I include -6.5 Seahawks against that garbage of the Rams roster right now, and mixed with an anytime touchdown for Kenneth Walker. So then I can get it up. Yeah. Instead of -130, I'm at +169. So I like kind of juicing those odds by taking the Seahawks spread there as well. Courtney, what do you got for us?
So I saw this one and I kind of thought it was. So first of all, will you look on FanDuel and tell me where Christian McCaffrey's rushing yards are?
I'm looking right now. Christian McCaffrey's rushing yards.
Where I saw it earlier, like way earlier, like at 6 a.m., it was low. And I know he's
over
kind of banged up.
47.5.
Oh, see, that's higher than it was earlier. So it's gone up a lot since he was, put in. So my one that I really like this week, I like Gerald Everett. I got his yards and they were only 32 yards. I think he's a smash play at tight end this week. The Raiders are one of the worst against the tight end. So I think it's a smash. I like it. I like that one. It's only 32 yards. That's like that's like 2 bombs. I like it.
What
it's kind of a random one, but I like it.
I like it. I'm trying to figure out what are we thinking for the Commanders Giants game? Because to me, I think that's just going to I don't think the Giants are good anymore. I think we saw a hot start, and I think they've kind of come down since.
You mean for like over under?
Or just for who do you think's winning? Because I think the Commanders are winning.
Oh yeah, I got the Commanders.
Because I was looking at Commanders minus 126 for that money line, but trying to same thing, do an anytime touchdown score of Brian Robinson with the Commanders money line. Because if I do a same thing, same game parlay, just 2 picks, but Brian Robinson anytime touchdown score and the Commanders to win, it's plus 228. And some of these I'm even throwing both of those the 2 pick same game parlays together to really get spicy with the parlays. But you guys got any others before I get into my beautiful Christian Watson one?
Yeah, I got one more. I noticed the Chargers -1 at the Raiders. What do you guys think about that? I mean, it'll probably be a high scoring game. Both defense suck. But I still see the Chargers on top.
Yeah, I got 50.5 on the over, so I definitely think it's going over. It's going to be a good game.
I'm going
over. My Jared Everett.
Last I looked, it was 49.5, but I'm taking the Chargers to win at -1 point.
I can't touch. Like every fiber of my being says the Chargers should just kick their ass, but it's the Chargers, and what did they do? They somehow find a way to do what they shouldn't. What are you growling about? It's a bird. It's a bird.
But Daddy, I want to get the bird.
Is it? Oh no, it's a person carrying in groceries. Look at you, big guard dog. Okay, all right. I thought he was growling at it. But are you ready for the bet? The one everyone's been waiting for.
All right, let's go.
Do you want to guess what Christian Watson's receiving yards, is just his normal receiving yard line is at? Any takers? Like, where do you think it's roughly at?
I think it's low because of his only 2 targets last week.
He has 48.5.
Oh, I was thinking of Wilson's targets last week of only 2.
Oh.
Sorry about that. It's only 40.5?
48.5.
Oh, 48.5.
But if you are like myself and you think Christian Watson's going to have over 100 yards today, would you like to know what the odds are on that? Because we've actually seen that a couple times now.
Absolutely.
And a couple times in a row. It is plus 800 straight up just for the 100+ yards for Christian Watson. That's it.
Wow.
It's not even any other thing added to it. It's just plus 800. So, I love those odds, but then I'm like, oh, let me look at maybe an anytime touchdown scorer, Christian Watson. Oh, he's plus 220 to even score a touchdown. So if I parlay together Christian Watson 100+ yards and Christian Watson anytime touchdown, it's plus 1,492 for him to have a touchdown and 100 yards. Which I love those odds, considering that's what we've seen a lot of lately. I don't really feel like I'm just asking for him to have another good week. Obviously,
and I think
100 yards is a lot, but at the same time, I'm like, hey, I'm just asking the dude to ride the momentum. Rookie of the month. He's feeling good. He's feeling confident. He's catching the ball. He's fast. I mean, not like the Bears have a good defense. I love it. And at plus 1492, what is that though? I love it. FanDuel's getting all my money, and hopefully I'm getting all their money back shortly after.
There you go. I like it. I like it a lot.
Any other?
We got a question. Yeah, we got a question in the chat. How do you feel about the Steelers defense today, man? I love it because they play Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right. So you always play defenses against Atlanta.
You say that, but they actually have more wins than we want to give them credit for. Like, as
Well,
bad as the Falcons are.
Do you have other choices, Facebook user?
I mean, they say, how do we feel about it? Even if I think the Falcons could win, I don't see them putting up a lot of points. And I like the Steelers' defense. So, yeah, I would still trust the defense. It's the production of their defense is irrelevant in regards to winner or loser of that game from an NFL standpoint. So, yeah, if you're thinking about playing the Steelers defense, I mean, I'd feel good there. I mean, we haven't really seen Drake London utilized like we hoped. We haven't seen Kyle Pitts is on the IR now, but there's a lot of guys where it's not going to be Tyler Algier just ripping through that Steeler defense. I mean, I would feel good about playing them. I don't think you have much to worry about at all there. But other than that, any closing remarks, Jamie or Courtney?
Nope. I think we're good.
Right. Yeah, I think I'm good, guys.
Sweet. No, thank you again, everyone, for joining us. It was fun as always. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Courtney, for coming on today.
Absolutely.
Jamie, tell everyone where they can find you.
At Twitter, Jamie Perog. I'm also here at GoingFor2 every Sunday morning, every Tuesday night on the Fancy Cheat Sheet. And you also find me over at the Rum Boys Fantasy Network. And I just want to shout out to the Fantasy Football Discussion Facebook group. You guys are awesome.
And Courtney, please tell everyone where they can find you as well.
Love Tractor 3 on Twitter and with GoingFor2.
And you can find myself on Twitter at the Big Pellowski, and otherwise you can find me here every Sunday morning for the pregame show with G, with Jamie, and hopefully with Ben next week. He's been busy as of late, but he should be back. And I think there's no better outro than letting Courtney's hat sing to us while her earrings jingle for us. Thank you, everyone, and have a good day.